For those of you who either joined us on Monday or are just joining us today, this is the final day of the REP4 Summit. This is our first, what we hope will be annual regional summit that is part of this national REP4 network. So REP4 stands for Rapid Educational Prototyping for Equity. And it is a group of 6 anchor institutions that are looking at the future of higher education and really trying to center student voices in that conversation as we look at the future. And this today is our regional summit. There are 6 regional summits being held across the country. And then we will have a national convening next month at the beginning of August, where students from each of those summits will share some of their ideas and their presentations in a desire to really look at how we can strengthen equity and access and diversity and inclusion across our higher education landscape. So our student participants here have been working this week, engaging in an intense conversation about the future of higher ed. They've come to this conversation from high schools and community colleges across our region, and some are already members of our San Jose State student body. Together, they've shared individual aspirations and priorities, identified their collective strengths and challenges, and assessed the benefits and opportunities for growth that are part of our current system of higher education. Then, using a liberatory design approach, they've developed ideas for growing and strengthening our work here at SJSU and at universities across the country. That's a lot for 4 days, especially 4 days in a virtual environment. But I've heard from our faculty mentors that this is a remarkable group, and in this short time, they've shared important truths and identified exciting innovations. So today, we're going to hear our student presentations for REP4, and I'm hopeful that this will be a conversation. As I mentioned, they haven't had a ton of time. So the goal was not to have the polished and slick presentation. The goal was around the content and to ensure that they were sharing ideas, sharing their truths, sharing their experiences through this conversation in a way that will spark us to be better and to do our work in ways that are continuing to center student voice and responsive to the priorities and strengths and challenges that our students face. So the goal here is I'm going to hand it over to Rebecca in a moment, and she will share a little bit more about the week, and then our students will present. Each of them there's 4 dream teams that have developed these presentations. And then after they have had a chance to present, we're going to open it up to the larger group for a conversation to share ideas and feedback and ask questions of the teams so that we can learn a little bit more about the goals and the rationale behind each of their presentations. So with that, I will hand it back to Rebecca to share a little bit more about this week.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Veneice Guillory-Lacy, one of our faculty guides.
Thank you so much. Good morning, and thank you all for being here. Once again, my name is Dr. Veneice Guillory-Lacy, and I'm a new faculty member, an assistant professor in the Lurie College's Emancipatory Educational Leadership Master's Program. I want to extend so much gratitude to President Papazian, Dean Lattimer, and Dr. Burciaga for the opportunity to work with and alongside great colleagues, mentors, and college and high school students alike. It's been an amazing week. As we all know, the current pandemic has caused great grief and trauma and calls all of us to pause and rethink where this generation is headed in the terms of building a more equitable and inclusive society. But what it's also done is create amazing possibilities within education that we could have never imagined pre-pandemic. The timing of REP4 at San Jose State was perfect because within the last few days, this Learning Design Summit has given high school and college students a chance to dream again, reimagine, collaborate, practice their leadership skills, and create ideas around equitable and inclusive educational experiences for the future of higher ed at San Jose State. We have been blown away by the ingenuity and creativity the REP4 students have shown in such a short amount of time. This group of students has given us hope that we are headed in the right direction, that we are leaving the future of higher ed in the right hands. So thank you again, and I'll hand it over to Dr. Burciaga.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, you summarized it so perfectly. I think when you see these students present, it is awe-inspiring to think that they just met one another for the very first time online 3 days ago. And over the course of the last 3 mornings, these students have collaborated in ways that have honestly blown me away, and you'll see in just a moment. Their ideas are reflections of critical approaches they take to changing the future of higher education, specifically for first-generation college students. I'm going to put a link to an overview of each of the prototypes in the chat so that you can reference them for the presentations and for the discussions. But without further ado, I'd like to kick off the Dream Team presentations by introducing one of our student mentors, Jace Chang.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jace Chang, and I use they, them pronouns. I am a PIP mentor at San Jose State, and I am also an incoming Mosaic cultural programmer. So I have the amazing pleasure to introduce one of the Dream Teams, College 2.0, and I hope you will also be enthralled by the presentation. And Brian? Oh, okay. I was just about to ask about screen sharing permissions. Okay, College 2.0. Oh, sorry, that is the last slide. There we go.
Alrighty, hello everyone. We are College 2.0 and our prototype name is CC the Dream, which is an acronym for creating and continuing the dream. Next slide, please. My name is Nicole Huang and I'm a high school design leader. These are my teammates.
Hi, I'm Mina Nguyen and I'm also a high school design leader.
My name is Dean Chen. I'm in community college.
Hi, my name is Max Goldfield and I'm also a high school design leader. The problems our group is addressing is that many underrepresented students don't have the network for a stable career. Many lower income students are more likely to drop out of college. The cost of college has made college inaccessible, and the rates of college dropouts are negatively impacting personal, national, and economic health. Next slide, please. With that said, we chose an audience of people that are most affected by those issues, like first generation and low income students, but also including any major in an under.
So about this prototype, this will be a new type of class that students can apply to where they have a company and SJSU finance their free textbooks and laptops, which will be provided for all 4 years of undergrad, as well as an opportunity to apply for internships and gain industry skills after the class. This will help students be prepared for careers, be more engaged, be more financially secure due to the decreased text and textbook costs, and will improve SJSU's retention rates. Next slide, please. So the timeline. In summer around July, negotiating partnerships and contracts will be settled. In August, students will be admitted to the class after applying. And in December, at the end of the semester, students will be able to apply to the internship for which the company that gave them the textbooks and the free tech. Next slides, please.
So the resources are basically, we're gonna give them some technology, computers, so that they can use not only in class, but also to practice for their internship, along with in the future, more internship. And also these resources are gonna be scalable so that you could be used and recycle. So the middle column is basically a list about how much each item would cost approximately. The total will be around 22,000 to 24,000 per class. So the implementation is that the partner and the school and the company partner is gonna discuss and try to sign a contract on getting the resources and the internship. And the faculty is gonna also help with the student on preparing for the internship and learning how to use the tools for the class. So I'm gonna pass it to Mai.
Hi, thank you, Dean. Okay, so this aligns perfectly with what SJUSD has done in the past during the pandemic, which was distributing free Chromebooks to every student, which proves that tech distribution for all is possible. And in the present, companies are sponsoring some students to go through college, and this prototype has a similar career pipeline through the internships that really align with the class subject course that they just took. And in the future, this prototype could be implemented in any class and could even lead to more career engagement, even in pre-existing programs such as SVCTE, because we're truly tailoring the class subject within the internship. Next slide, please. And so critically looking at this plan, We are truly decreasing student debt and increasing access to technology, which could be a major impact on decreasing student loan and debt within college when it comes to materials. And for opportunities over in the long run, this could lead to high career stability for students, especially the low generation and low income first generation students. And we would be decreasing overall national poverty rates that arise from unemployment. And in the future, even the partner companies could have potential future employees, good PR and tax write-offs. So it's like a win-win. But on the flip side, the weakness would be, since it's a new idea, only a few companies may be interested in it. So starting off might be a little rough. And over time, over-reliance on companies for technology might be a potential threat. Next slide, please.
So to summarize, our prototype is a new class model. Companies will help SJSU finance students' textbooks, laptops, and tech. Students will have an opportunity from said companies to enter an internship, and SJSU will improve their retention rates as a result due to more equitable access. Next slide, please. Too many dreams have been shattered due to the financial burdens of college and a lack of networks due to no prior family experience. It's time for us to CC their educational dreams and bring equity to higher education. Thank you.
Thank you for that amazing presentation from College 2.0, and I'll pass it off to Vincent.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Vincent, and I have the pleasure of introducing our team, Creative Connections. Our team name is actually inspired by our students who wanted to create connections with one another throughout these past few days, connect with everyone from the REP4 Summit within this community, and also to create more connections between students, staff, and faculty within educational spaces. So now it is my pleasure to introduce Creating Connections by Creative Connections.
Thank you so much for the strong start, Vin. Welcome, everyone. Next. So we are Team Creative Connections, led by advisors Vincent Vu and Dr. Jill Malik. And I'm Joy Everson, an SJSU design leader.
And I'm Ameli Pak, high school design leader.
And I'm Simon Chaw, also a high school design leader.
I'm JC Jacinto, and I'm community college design leader. So let's talk about the prototype. Our idea is to bring together middle school, high school, community college, and university students and allow them the opportunity to shadow current San Jose State University students based on their interests and identities. This can include clubs, experience, majors, and sports. This is with the idea to help them understand what they would be getting into in college. This will give students really the insight, like I said before, to different majors and on campus, professors, students, and the campus life itself, maybe even allow them to sit in some classes. And it may really give the opportunity for questions with student mentors. And personally, in middle school, in my experience in middle school, I had the opportunity to shadow someone in high school. And I feel like it really allowed me that insight into high school and then really prepare me or get me started on what to expect when I start high school. So our purpose statement: this is more than just a college tour. Creating Connections really wants to give students the opportunity to understand and evaluate their futures, while at the same time giving insight into San Jose State University life.
We're targeting rising college and university students with a limited exposure to higher education to interact with college upperclassmen so that they could get a feel for the higher ed environment. Next slide, please. As the world is rapidly changing, students are currently facing uncertainty with their educational and occupational futures. The root of this is lack of perspective on college life and job searching processes. Hence, we have Creating Connections, a mentorship program that will link college students to guide, network, and advise upcoming classes through their respective fields and fully personalize the experience. For high schoolers, it's difficult to put ourselves in the shoes of college students without firsthand direct experience. Personally, I like to get a grip of universities' mock trial teams and understand the general dynamic of educational clubs.
And from an athletic standpoint, as someone who plays high school sports, I would have loved an opportunity to shadow a student athlete at the college level. I know for myself and many others, the decision to transition from high school to the elite college level can be daunting, and getting a feel for the culture, like seeing the practices and juggling the balance between school and sports, would have been extremely helpful. Also, many high schoolers are looking into recruitment, and I know many students who would use this opportunity to connect with coaches. And moving on to planning, we designed a 6-month timeline where we can expect tangible, immediate results within the next year. We'd start off building the structure and logistics with the SJSU board and go straight into creating a two-way calendar between the mentors and mentees. Essentially, mentors can update their availability across a master calendar, and students would actually be able to sign up for these time slots across a wide variety of options. The next 2 months would be spent forming the mentor team through job applications and finalized through interviews and screenings. And once that's completed, we can open up the applications to the general public and outreach and market to schools. And moving on to implementation, our plan is to start off by launching a 1-month pilot program for students in the Bay Area. And depending on the success and interest, hopefully we can branch out to more flexible schedules and extend this program across additional months. Even bigger, we can expand this program to students out of state and open up overnight, longer options to maximize their experience. And in the future, 2024 and beyond, we're targeting this to be a year-long program, bringing students from all over the world. Now, for resources, first and foremost, we need SJSU student mentors. We're looking for upperclassmen who are experienced and can represent SJSU in the best way possible. And as this is a paid position, applications will be competitive, and we carefully select mentors with the best fit. We'd also have training for mentors, so everyone's on the same page. And we can also team up with the Child and Adolescent Development Department to connect with students across all ages. Now, for those shadowing, we'd like to improve their experience by providing food options. Each shadowee can be given an SJSU Gold Points Pass, which can provide them with their day's worth of lunch and snacks. And logistically, we're thinking this to be a part-time minimum wage job, and there can be one-on-one individual or group options, and they can last between a few hours to a full day experience.
As of now, SJSU only offers tours. Seeing the campus in person is helpful, but we can do better. With creating connections, potential students can gain in-depth insight into SJSU education and student life. So for SWOT analysis, creating connections will help prospective students experience firsthand the learning environment at SJSU and build valuable connections. Unfortunately, low participation and few mentors starting out is a possibility, but publicizing the program can mitigate this. Creating connections can also be expanded into a comprehensive mentorship program that also benefits freshmen and beyond. With success will come challenges. If there proves to be more prospective students than mentors, more than one potential student can be assigned to a mentor.
So let's talk about our recommendation summary. First, we want to make sure that we welcome prospective students with personalized connections.
Connect students based on common interests and career paths.
Give students the opportunity to experience life as an SJSU student.
This can happen by expanding the student outreach and recruitment department by hiring experienced college student mentors for each semester. 3, 2, 1. Thank you for listening. Let's get connected.
All right. Thank you so much, Team Creative Connect. Passing it on to Karina.
Hello everyone, my name is Karina and I am a current master's student in the Child and Adolescent Development at SJSU. I have the pleasure of presenting my team, 3 Trees.
Good morning everyone. I would like to present all-in-one students who wish for more community network. How integrating student community and technology can help students. Next slide, please.
Hi, my name is Adam Din. My pronouns are he and him.
Hi, my name is Rizwana Bilkish. My pronouns are she and her.
My name is Antonio Tremblay. My pronouns are he, him.
My name's April Nicholson. I go by they, them pronouns.
My name is Andrea Toledo. I go by she, her pronouns.
The target audience for this prototype are the everyday college students who use the SJSU SAMI app. whether they are freshmen who are getting accustomed to college or seniors who might not have the hang of things. The app has a handful of small yet counterintuitive issues, such as the app not being user-friendly, there being missing mental health assistance links, the important elements of the app being shoved to the bottom of the page, and a lot more. What we hope to change with this prototype is providing students easy access to resources, giving them more resources to support their mental health, resources to help more students work as a community, and support structures in which students and teachers can help one another. And I believe that this will greatly help students.
Okay, so we wanted to base this off of current resources such as the SAMI app, but we wanted to reimagine this as more of a holistic program overall, in which there's more of a human experience of getting situated on campus, where you can easily find community, mental health resources, necessities, etc. And we would employ staff such as current students, alumni, and interns to help make that experience more personal to SJSU students. Next slide, please. And this is just a diagram of what that network might look like. So you'd have a confused student who would be introduced to the program through either the mentorship program, a point person that you find on campus or virtually, or the app, and it would just connect you to all the resources you need to. Next slide, please.
So the listed times are rough estimates on how long it would take for a group of people to do any of the said things. So it'd take 2 to 3 months for a separate version of the app to be made, while the main version is kept online. From there, a week for students to be brought in and for them to test the app and give further feedback. Once the definitive app is reached, the app is fully updated, and that'll take like 1 to 2 months. And then from there, the app is maintained daily by a team of SJSU students or employees, and updates are made when needed.
And so the resources we need to employ the app, we need funding to hire the staff, and also for the testing team and testers to create a usable prototype for both the program and the app. And then funding for resources such as books, the mentorship matchup, materials, free textbooks, and last but not least, like the outreach efforts, just to have that program visibility and to find those volunteers and staff and mentors. Next slide, please.
The strength here is it helps the students easily access the free resources available to them, like the free PDF. It is ideal for online interaction where human and computer interaction is needed. It helps in student counseling where students who are in mental stress will get benefited. The students will get support from the student and staff who know the campus very well. The weaknesses here, it is very expensive to provide the technical support from the experienced people. Many students will get the job opportunities by working as a tech team. Both staff and volunteers gain career and leadership experience here. The threat here is the live chat option can be misused by the unwanted discussions.
To conclude the statements that have been said, students should be given help when needed to suit their individual needs. In order for this to happen, students need humanized assistance to suit their individual needs. Creating more streamlined and community-focused program with a dedicated app to accommodate SJSU students or visitors. Focus on the app because students are not on campus because of COVID and more. Making it easier for students to find resources, advice, and more will help students excel and prevent barriers for disenfranchised students. Thank you.
Thank you, Three Trees. And now I will pass it on to Tuka.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for all your amazing presentations. My name is Tuka. I'm a recent SJSU alumni, and I have the great pleasure of introducing the Equity Ambassadors.
Hi, everyone.
So they will be presenting about their prototype called Elevation Promise, which is a career support program for underrepresented minority students.
Hi everyone, good morning. I hope everybody going great. My name is Veneice, and I'm a student in college design.
Hi everyone, my name is Elia Villaret. I'm a high school designer. I will be in 12th grade now and I attend Bandon High School.
Hi everyone, my name is Demi Young. I'm a college designer currently enrolled in San Jose State.
Hello everybody, my name is Venetia. I'm a high school designer and I'm also going to be in 12th grade and I go to Amador Valley High School.
So the Elevation Promise is a career path support program for low-income immigrant and first-gen students. Next slide, please. So what's the problem? A common systemic flaw in academia is the opportunity gap. And so we challenge this obstacle by first identifying the opportunity gap. The gap is driven by nepotism, elitism, and income. The rich and privileged have always had the upper hand through financial resources and networks. These generational networks allow for nepotism in the professional world, rendering immigrants, low-income, and first-gen students resourceless. As an example, internships are scarce because privileged and higher income students have a plethora of networks that they gained from generational wealth and privilege, and the same goes for many career opportunities. Next slide, please.
And so we propose a two-step elevation program. The first, but also reoccurring step, is the attentive group advising, and the second are the paid summer or January internships. Attentive group advising is a redefined and efficient, never-before-seen method of career counseling. Students are grouped and based on their major and are paired with counselors and financial advisors. Because they are in the same major, counselors may efficiently tend to students' needs in their courses and student life. Note that there are multiple groups per major since there are so many students. The ratio of students to advising staff depends on the statistics of the numbers of students and groups per school year. These attentive group advising meetings include discussions on the correct course that you could take, kind of like a roadmap, alternative courses, scholarship opportunities, and financial advice and literacy. The attentive group advising elevation step is more than just counseling. It's a revolutionary practice.
We want to give us someone to the public have missed the opportunity to see our slide. Venetia, I want to make sure can you show the slide?
Do you mean this one?
It's not moving on our end.
Oh, it's not? I'm so sorry about that.
There you go. Just want to make sure audience see our slides.
I'm so sorry about that, everybody. Because it's moving on my end, so it's like, okay. Brief intermission.
Thank you so much. Now we're gonna give a little bit detail about how the alternative and group advisory meeting will look like. So the meeting will be held online or in person, depending on the circumstances. Counselor will be present course option to student in this meeting. Each student will be provide a digital organizer so student can stimulate their course pathway and prepare for class registration. Through the organizing individual year plan, student will develop their planning skill and any workforce related skill. The meeting including access to scholarship opportunity as well. Financial advisory will be a part of the advisory meeting right before or after the internship. We'll also conduct this meeting creatively, collaboratively, and hands-on as necessary for the students' need. So each meeting should take 2.5 hours in total. As a result, The student will work within the same group, get to know each other, interpersonal relationship authors form during the meetings. Next slide, please.
The second component of the Elevation Promise are the paid summer or January internships. Students either begin in their third or fourth year during the January or summer break. Internship dates and start times vary so that companies will not feel overwhelmed by the mass of students, and so that the opportunities for the internships are available, sporadic, and never scarce. Students will apply their skills and education since companies represent a college they're professionally related to. As they earn money, they can properly budget from their financial advisory class. Additionally, students have the free will to spend their money on whatever they want to. They are all presented with a chance to spend it on their personal desires because the scholarship opportunities that we provide will also be given within this program. As you can see, there are many ways that this program amplifies student success. Colleges encompass many majors. Thus, for each college, there's a special relative company that students from that college may attend for their internship. Overall, they will build networks and have the chance to stay in that company or explore other companies if they choose to do so.
This is a sample of how Sorry, Mia.
This is a sample of how our companies and organizations relate to each college.
Now, this is the example of a streamline and simplify student experience in our program. As you can see, it's gradual but effective. So we're using a teacher program as an example to show you. The first year, you will group with your student with your same major, and then you will receive workshop. The second year, you continue to receive advisory and related to work skill workshop. And then we will also design your course. Third year, you're gonna start thinking about your paid summer internship. This one we use an example, you go to the Evergreen High School, Valley High School. And then the final year, you finish your internship, you can continue to either to apply for the school, apply the job at the school you work at. So this is just a sample. Now, next slide, we will provide more detail about the timeline. Sorry, next slide, please.
Okay, so this is a yearly timeline of our program. So in June, we begin researching potential company and organization partners. And then we will finalize contracts and all the logistics involved in that. And in July, we'll begin the grouping process. Beginning in August, the first group advisory meet will happen, but group advisory meets will occur all throughout the year so that we maximize guidance and student success. By November, we begin prep for January internships. And between the January and summer internships, there's a major advisory meet. And then preparations for summer internships take place in April and so forth. Next slide, please.
There is a three-way win for our program. Students will receive money to support themselves however they would like. If they choose not to stay with the career or company, they will have credentials and experience for resumes. They will now have networking opportunities from the company. SJSU will receive good PR and be introduced to a revolutionary method of student counseling. They will create generational guidance for low-income, immigrant, and first-gen students because they open doors for them through our program. Companies are introduced to future employees, and because it is an internship, they will pay lower than the salary rate, but of course not in an exploitative manner.
Now here's the list of the resources we will need for the program. The program is supported by the SJSU personnel list here. Each college will require a representative in order to communicate any existing challenge or logistical issue in the related field. Academic career counselor, scholarship, researcher, and financial literacy advisor that will make up the whole alternative advisory team. For contracting, lawyers are involved and design, organizing, website update, and guide as well as navigate the technology used throughout the program. In order to protect student rights during this internship, we will need HR from either the company or from SJSU. A program representative will ensure that implement program does not deviate from our original intention. Upon further discussion, appropriate salary for all involved will be determined, potentially through SJSU funding or the company funding. The meeting room will be set up with snack and water. We'll probably also need another 2.5 hours each alternative advisory meeting as well. Next slide, please. So here is our SWOT analyzing with our program. The strengths we can see, this is very applicable and tangible. Provide a steady path for students. It's beneficial for everyone who is involved. The weakness is it involves a lot of the manpower. As we mentioned, we want each college all involved adopt to the program. So there's a logistic issue, we're gonna throw it out. That's our weakness. But opportunity is student can develop a network within the school or within the company. They can also have experience to exercise their finance and career development. The company will have graduates who are excited to gain the experience either to work event, or they can cut down their hiring hours by just recruit the student who work for internship for them. SJSU will also have higher graduation rate and lower student retention rate. One threat we found is because we want this program is to be student-centered. So we really hope the company we have contract with are healthy environment. So we wanted to avoid student exploitation. Next slide, please.
SJSU already offers EOP, the Career Center, and academic advising. Recently, it has also taken charge of eliminating the opportunity gap by becoming test blind with the SATs and other oppressive testing systems. Thus, our program is in clear alignment with SJSU's values and future hopes for the underprivileged. Hence, we offer the Elevation Promise, as quite literally, to promise to elevate low-income, immigrant, and first-gen students from the opportunity gap and open doors for their success.
And so the Elevated Promise is revolutionary and generational. And we thank you from the equity ambassadors and from our designers and our mentors. Thank you for listening.
I am really grateful to all of you for dedicating your time, really impressed with the ideas that you've come up with. I think, again, as I mentioned earlier, these are things that we talk about, and there are aspects of what you've described as potential solutions and ideas that we do have in progress. But it's fantastic, to hear the urgency on, things like the idea that in high school, you're talking about the cost of textbooks, and that is something that may be a determinant in terms of whether or not and where you attend. We need to be aware of that. We need to understand how important those various concerns are when we're thinking about how to ensure that we are the place of equity and access and transformation that we aspire to be. So really appreciate the thought and the energy and the creativity and the innovation that went into this. With that, I am going to hand it over to President Papazian to say a few closing remarks.
Thank you, Dean Lattimer. And I'm not sure I can add anything to the incredible comments of our students who really came together and did this extraordinary work in a very short period of time. So hats off to all of you for engaging in this conversation, for coming together, for sharing your stories, for your thoughtfulness in really, again, placing equity at the center. And recognizing that there are solutions, but we need to break them up. We need to look at them in detail, and coming up with these just really polished presentations. I just want to say, I mean, it's really fantastic work. So kudos to our students at all levels. It is an ecosystem. We learn from each other. We're learning from you, and just thank you for being a part of this process. And I also want to acknowledge the extraordinary work of our mentors. All of you who San Jose State students and others who stepped forward and really created the space for all participants to feel that their voices mattered, that they were heard, that each listened to each other. This is really the source of where real change happens. And so I just want to thank you. I know we didn't have much time to kind of get you ready for this, but it just shows that you're already thinking in these terms and that those skills are there and our responsibility. And then of course to our staff and our faculty who help really think through this, set up the structures and bring all of you together and give you that encouragement and step back so that you could take the center. And I think for us, that really is I think what I take away, how important it is for us to help create the opportunity to kind of step back and give you the space to do the real creative work, to really highlight not what we think will be helpful to you, but where you really see where impact can be made. And I was struck by a lot of particulars in here. The network gap you define is really important. And I'm thinking through already how as an institution, we can help create the space for some of these ideas to come into reality. How do we ensure, and that's what REP4 is all about, creating a system that allows these kinds of conversations, inputs, and creative moments to be centered in the core of change. It's iterative, it's ongoing, it becomes part of our culture, and it continues to empower our learners to really take ownership of their educational pathway. And then for us to help make those links to ensure that the ideas that you bring forward, that we find a way to help support them and realize them. So I am really inspired by you. I look forward to the continued work we'll do together. I'm an optimist, and people ask me where that optimism comes from, and it really comes from you. It comes from our emerging generations who have a kind of prescience, gravitas beyond your years, really a commitment to looking at real problems and coming up with collaborative solutions. So I look forward to revolutionizing education together with you. And it also just, I think, brings, color to what is sometimes just words, that we have to work together, that learning is a continuum, it's an ecosystem. It starts early. And thinking through in all of your presentations, I actually took some notes on it, thinking through the various links and the ways we can create those links and sustain those links based on mutual respect and based on an equitable framework which empowers everyone, I think has some real potential to help us realize the aspirations we have for genuine, equitable, impactful educational outcomes that produce the kind of change in our communities that we want to see. And so thank you for taking the time. Thank you for your energy here. And know that this is the beginning of a process. And you are helping us think through how we can continue to support you, to center you, and to really bring out these ideas and infuse the kind of change that we know will have a tremendous impact. So thank you for all of that, and the work will continue. Heather, I'll turn it back to you.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you for the encouragement and the inspirational words, and a second your note of gratitude for our students. So where do we go from here? Well, 2 of these presentations will be shared at the national convening. So I would invite my dean colleagues, if you have ideas or feedback, to send your feedback to me. Also, we'll talk with President Papazian to get her input in there as well. And then we also are going to talk with our student mentors to listen to them as current undergraduate and graduate students at San Jose State, to understand what best fits with their, not only their priorities, but also their understanding of how it fits within the ecosystem that we currently have and what's doable. We want to make sure that we are taking action, that these aren't just conversations, but that they're leading to actions. And so we are going to commit that we're going to come back to this group sometime in the fall. We don't have a date yet. I'm hoping that as we look at coming back, we'll be able to have you come back to campus and have a conversation on campus, so that we can follow up and say, here's the things that we're doing, here's the things that we're working on, and here's we would like additional insight from you to ensure that we're valuing and recognizing and continuing to center the ideas that you've shared with us today. We also, as part of this REP4 National Summit, will be taking a team from the university. So that includes both faculty, but also some of our students. And so we're hopeful that a couple of our student participants from today will join us in Michigan in October, end of October, for that National Summit, where we will join with teams from across the country to share ideas and share information about where this all goes. And then next summer, we're hoping to do this again. So it sounds like many of you had a very positive experience, and we hope that you'll come back and you'll recruit more people to come back. We're hoping to grow this over time so that this is a large conversation and can engage the larger campus community. So our faculty, our staff, our students, our leaders, to ensure that all of us are hearing your voices and responding to and being proactive about ensuring that your needs and your strengths are recognized in how we organize our work.